All right, this will be Q&A video number 22 now, if you can believe it or not. And the first two questions come from a guy whose screen name is boxerfencer. The first question comes in response to a video in which I was talking about why chin-ups are generally easier than pull-ups. And the question was, can you explain why most people can do more chin-ups than pull-ups? And the reason most people can do more is because they're easier. If they're easier, you're going to expend less energy, and that will facilitate more reps to be performed. So hopefully that answers your question. The next comment comes in response to a video in which I was talking about how to accelerate the development of any muscle by training that same muscle 12 to 24 hours later. And the reason for that is because protein synthesis spikes following a workout, and then there's a steady decline. It is maximized, it is doubled in the 12 to 24 hour window following a workout. If you can extend the duration in which protein synthesis is not just elevated but maximized, you're going to maximize your return on investment of time and effort, as long as you don't overwork your capacity to recover. And I think you might be misunderstanding the difference between being elevated and being maximized, because one of the things you said in your comment was you heard that it's 48 to 72 hours. It remains elevated for 48 to 72 hours. It is not maximized. And you said, where am I learning this? Strength and conditioning. The next question comes from a guy whose screen name is Moncho Nartallo. He says, can you talk about the bench press versus dips, and are they safe? Now, both exercises come with their own fair share of risks, but whether or not an exercise is safe or unsafe has more to do with the person who's doing it and the way it's being done than the exercise itself. I would argue that neither of these exercises is more dangerous than the other. Depends on who's doing it and the way it's being done. The next question comes from a guy whose screen name I believe is pronounced, and correct me if I'm wrong if you see this video, Iago Borges. He's talking about chin-ups. He says, is this the best exercise to maximize development of the lats and the biceps concurrently? And I would argue that it likely is. Assuming your capacity to recruit is where it needs to be, I can't think of another exercise that mechanically will allow you to direct as much stress to those two muscles concurrently. The follow-up question was, would it be better to do this exercise on a pair of gymnastics rings? Now, you're overthinking. It's not about rings. It's not about a pull-up or a chin-up bar. It's about using the tool that allows you to impose the greatest demand on the muscles involved to promote the response you're looking for. If you can keep your body stable when using gymnastics rings to do your pull-ups and chin-ups, then by all means, go ahead. But I would argue that most people don't have the skill set necessary to do so. They're going to burn and waste energy trying to do the exercise, energy that would have been better utilized trying to internally impose a greater demand on the muscles that they're trying to promote to grow. The last question comes from a guy whose screen name is Bob Bobber. He says, close grip or wide grip when doing a bench press for maximal pec development? Once again, there's no universal answer. It's about picking the right tool for the job based on your structure, your genetics, and your capacity to recruit. Close grip might work for some people. Wide grip might work for some people. If it's about maximal development of the muscle, you got to pick the right tool for the job based on the cards that you've been dealt. You're not married to the barbell. You're not married to the flat bench. If those aren't working, try dumbbells, try machines, try a different angle. It's about imposing a demand onto the muscles. And because that's what it's about, there's no universal answer. This is why what I try to teach is the underlying principles that should guide and influence the decision-making process so you can make the best decision for yourself based on the cards that you have been dealt. If you like the information, share it. Click the fucking button at the bottom of the screen you're looking at. Subscribe to the channel. Support me. I'm going to keep on bringing it.